So the iPhone 12 lineup is now among us with a new design, support for Apple's newly resurrected Magsafe system, upgraded cameras, and a faster processor that also brings along 5G. So let's now break down the four models of the iPhone 12 to decide which one is best for you. So Apple is doing something different this year with two models being available for the normal mainstream iPhone and two models once again for the Pro phones. Apple realized that they needed to focus more on the mainstream, more affordable iPhone this year, as iPhone 11 sales, not the Pro, were very strong last year. So out of that comes the iPhone 12, the iPhone 12 mini, the iPhone 12 Pro, and the iPhone 12 Pro Max. The easiest way to break down the lineup is iPhone 12 models are small medium and iPhone 12 Pro models are medium large. Frankly, this makes a lot more sense and it makes it a lot easier for the consumer because last year's iPhone lineup was bookended by both Pro models being the smallest and the largest iPhones in the lineup, which was slightly confusing. So this year, the smaller iPhones have less features and the bigger you go, the more features you get in the iPhone. First, let's start with everything all iPhone 12 models get, whether it's the smallest, cheapest iPhone 12 mini or the maxed out 512 gig iPhone 12 Pro Max. So all models get the A14 chip made on Apple's cutting edge 5 nanometer process. So this chip provides slight speed improvements over last generation, but more importantly, it also improves the efficiency significantly of this chip, which can help with battery life, especially with 5G. It also doubles the core count of the neural engine from 8 to 16 cores, but Apple still doesn't mention anything about faster Face ID recognition on their website. Every model also gets a new square edge design. The Pro models do differ in their materials, but across the line, curved edges have now been removed on all iPhone models. Magsafe lets you connect magnetic chargers and accessories to the back of all iPhone 12 models. Apple's current selection of accessories include the Magsafe charger, which can include up to 15-watt charging, a credit card wallet, which can hold multiple credit cards, a silicone, leather, and clear case, a Magsafe Duo charger with support for the iPhone and the Apple Watch at the same time, and a full 360-degree leather sleeve with a cutout for the time. This selection of first-party Apple accessories will most likely be growing over time, and third-party Magsafe accessories are expected to get very popular as well. All models also get Apple's new front glass technology called Ceramic Shield. So they partnered with Corning to make this glass, and it's the first of its kind on any smartphone to use ceramic in the actual chemical makeup of the glass, and they say it is 4 times stronger on drops. So hopefully this new glass from Apple and Corning is even stronger than the new Gorilla Glass Victus. So now on to the differences between the phones. Physically, the main difference between the normal 12 lineup and the Pro models are the primary structural band material. So the iPhone 12 and 12 mini get aluminum, they call it aerospace grade aluminum, and the Pro models get stainless steel. Apple calls it surgical grade stainless steel. So the Pro phones also get a unique textured matte finish that make the phone feel more premium on the back glass. My opinion, I can say, even though it's just a texture, it does make a big difference in your hand. I love the feeling of the matte finish and the stainless steel edges on my iPhone 11 Pro, so I can only assume it's going to feel as good with the iPhone 12 Pro. So now let's move on to the cameras because boy, do we have a lot to talk about in terms of cameras. Apple went full out this year with the iPhone 12 Pro Max model, and you are really going to start to see why the Pro Max is separated from the regular 12 lineup. So in terms of just the 12 and the 12 mini, they get the same camera systems no matter what size you get. So you get an ultra-wide shooter that now supports night mode, which you didn't have on the iPhone 11, and you also get a faster f1.6 main lens that's going to let in more light than the iPhone 11 camera. So this is going to be better at low light, and it's also going to let you take night mode shots on the front camera as well as the ultra wide camera. So that is kind of the theme here with every iPhone 12 model. Apple is expanding their computational photography, and they're letting you take more night mode shots on more of the cameras on your iPhone. The iPhone 12 Pro has the same main camera sensor and upgraded lenses as the 12, but also has a third telephoto camera that allows for a 2 times optical zoom in from the main wide camera. So the total zoom range on the iPhone 12 Pro is 4 times. The 12 Pro also supports nighttime portrait shots thanks to the LiDAR scanner, so this is something that you don't get on the regular iPhone 12 and 12 mini, and you'll also be able to focus faster in low light thanks to the LiDAR scanner as well. So the 12 Pro Max takes everything we just mentioned and adds a much larger main sensor, and the sensor is actually stabilized now for the first time in an iPhone camera, and this allows handheld night mode shots with exposure times up to 2 seconds thanks to that sensor shift stabilization, as well as optical image stabilization in tandem with it. So the 12 Pro Max also has a better telephoto camera that provides 2.5 times optical zoom in from the main wide camera. So the total zoom range on the iPhone 12 Pro Max is 5 times compared to only 4 times on the 12 Pro. Surprisingly, the telephoto camera on the 12 Pro Max is actually a slight downgrade in one small area. So the aperture is f2.0 on the 12 Pro, but only f2.2 on the 12 Pro Max. So it's letting in a little bit less light, but I can only assume this is because of the extra optical zoom, and I don't think it'll make that much of a difference. You still get the much larger sensor on the 12 Pro Max, you get sensor shift stabilization, and you also get more zoom on the telephoto camera. So no doubt the iPhone 12 Pro Max is the ultra camera phone this year. So the screen sizes this year are very easy to memorize: 5.4-inch iPhone 12 mini, 6.1-inch iPhone 12 and iPhone 12 Pro, and 6.7-inch iPhone 12 Pro Max. The same screen size and case size between the 12 and 12 Pro means that they can share cases and accessories, and Apple only needs to make 3 different cases for 4 phones. This is a win from the production line view of things. Along with the smaller screens means smaller batteries, obviously, so the larger you go, the better battery life you'll get. The iPhone 12 mini gets about 2 hours less than the iPhone 11. The regular 12 gets about the same battery as the iPhone 11, but the iPhone 12 Pro gets approximately 1 hour less than the iPhone 11 Pro. But the good news is the iPhone 12 Pro Max should get the same battery as the iPhone 11 Pro Max. So a little bit disappointing with the batteries this year. We usually like to see year-over-year upgrades instead of either staying the same or even a downgrade. So maybe next year with 2021 iPhones, we'll see a big battery upgrade. It just doesn't look like iPhone batteries are going to be amazing this year. So which iPhone 12 model should you buy? I should also mention that no matter which iPhone you do decide to get from Apple going forward, you will not get headphones or a wall charger in the box, just a Lightning to USB-C cable. So if you do not have a USB-C power adapter yet, you will either have to buy one from, say, Amazon or directly from Apple. So let's get into my recommendations now. If size and portability is everything to you and you don't mind a potential drop in battery life, I'd recommend the iPhone 12 mini. It's the easiest iPhone to recommend. You get a very attractive starting price. It is the cheapest iPhone 12 this year. You get fun new colors, an attractive compact design, and a gorgeous new OLED display. So like I said, the iPhone 12 mini is the easiest iPhone to recommend if you don't mind a potential hit to battery. If battery life and screen size are a little bit more important to you, I'd go for the iPhone 12. You get a large 6.1-inch OLED display compared to LCD of iPhone 11, and battery life should be better than the iPhone 12 mini, as well as that much larger display. The iPhone 12 Pro is probably the hardest model to recommend simply because of what better hardware is available up the line for not very much more money. However, if you want a telephoto camera, LiDAR scanner, and a much more premium stainless steel material, but you do not want a big screen, I'd recommend the iPhone 12 Pro. Like I said, this is a very niche market. It's really hard to recommend the iPhone 12 Pro this year. I think it's the hardest one to recommend. The one upside is you do get 128 gigabyte starting capacity compared to just 64 in iPhone 12 and 12 mini. So that does help justify a little bit more of the $1,000 starting price. But like I said, the iPhone 12 Pro is probably the hardest iPhone to recommend this year. And now for the iPhone 12 Pro Max. If you want the best of the best, the top of the line, no compromises ultra phone, I would go for the iPhone 12 Pro Max. You get the upgraded camera system that we just talked about with a larger display and a larger battery. And like I just mentioned, you are getting a better camera sensor than the iPhone 12 Pro, which is still a Pro phone and Apple still charges $1,000 for. So if you have the iPhone 12 Pro Max, you really have a much better camera than any other iPhone 12. So hopefully that has cleared things up for everyone in terms of the iPhone 12 lineup. I know that it can be a little bit confusing this year with all the new iPhones. We have 4 new iPhones to pick from. So hopefully this video helped you make your purchase decision. And if you have made up your mind, drop a comment down below and let everyone in the community know which iPhone 12 you decided to buy. I do have a couple other little things here I want to mention about the phones at the end, so let's get into it. The iPhone 12 and 12 mini have 4 gigabytes of RAM, and the 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max have 6 gigabytes. The iPhone 12 Pro microphone that is next to the camera is actually a lot smaller than the iPhone 12, and that is because of the LiDAR sensor. So you can see this image, the microphone hole is a lot smaller on the Pro phones. All iPhone 12 models in the United States have a cutout on the right side for millimeter wave 5G, and you will not see this in any other country. Apple's official cases don't actually fold around the edges anymore. Magnets make it much better just to snap the phone into the case. I haven't actually heard many people talking about this online, but Apple has completely changed how cases now work on the iPhone. So instead of folding the case around your phone, the case now just kind of snaps to the back of your phone, and you don't need to have really tight edges that wrap around the edge and hug your phone. So I didn't really see many people mentioning this, but I think the new official Apple cases and other third-party cases that support Magsafe are going to be much better. Also, all models of the iPhone 12, whether it's the 12 mini or the 12 Pro, have IP68 water resistance 6 meters up to 30 minutes, which is way ahead of the competition. All models also support Dolby video recording, which is a big upgrade, especially for just the regular iPhone 12 model. And the iPhone 12 Pro phones get Apple Pro RAW, which mixes Apple's computational photography and puts it into a RAW format photo. So this is going to be great for photographers. And then one final thing here, which is kind of weird with the brightness on each of these displays. The iPhone 12 models are limited to 625 nits, and the iPhone 12 Pro models go up to 800 nits. This is very weird because it looks like the iPhone 12 and 12 mini actually have the same panels as the iPhone 12 Pro, and they might actually be capable of going up to 800 nits. Apple just might be doing this in software to maybe push you towards the iPhone 12 Pro a little bit more. However, both of these phones, whether it's the 12 or the 12 Pro, can go up to 1200 nits when you are viewing HDR content. But in terms of just regular viewing, the iPhone 12 models are a little bit brighter at 625 nits. So that's going to completely wrap it up for me in this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it. My name is Michael, and I'll see you in the next video.